The changing habits of Magic players are starting to affect different parts of the game we love. We know that singles are selling exceptionally well, and in 2024, what is going to happen to the sealed product now that demand is not where it used to be? Well, in today's video, we are going to discuss what is happening in the sealed market for Magic the Gathering products and what players need to know if they're looking for these products in the coming years. Every time a market shifts or evolves, there is going to be winners and there are going to be losers. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. And a reminder that if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. New content every single day. So what are we discussing today? We are talking about sealed product. We know that as the market has evolved since the boom and bust in COVID and all the crazy stuff in the world, where we saw all kinds of sealed product rising to new heights, only to see it all fall like a house of cards that it is. Singles have taken off. Players no longer are sitting on and hoarding tons of boxes. And yeah, you can see a whole bunch in my background. I get it. I come out on paper as one of the losers of this if I was a person speculating and trying to sell in this market. Remember, there are going to be losers every time and there are going to be winners. When you think about a winner right now, what do you think? It's not the person sitting on this stuff right now. It's the people buying it. The people who are now purchasing these products at the losses that they're at. And the ones who are losing right now are the stores, are the speculators who have to either buy this product because you're a store, or you were sitting on it because you're a distributor and now you just got to, pitch it all out. Or you are a speculator who thought this was going to go to the moon eventually and you'd be able to cash out big. That didn't work out for anyone, did it? Because the market shifted, things evolved and changed. You could say the market crashed for it. You could say now we have organic growth only. And now it's only the players actually seeking these products out that are willing to pay for it, and the prices are continuing to adjust. Now, Wizards of the Coast, a lot of people will say it doesn't matter. Wizards has come out a winner because they sold this to the distributors. They got this off the books and it's in the hands of their local LGS or a distributor somewhere else. And initially, of course, that's how it's going to look as a company. They're going to see cash flow. They're going to see things good. But what happens when those products don't sell at the prices they were intended to sell at? Remember, no MSRP. That goes both ways, which means eventually you need to clear this stuff off the shelf, and that's when it's at a loss. And when a store, when an LGS, when a distributor, when a speculator loses on these products and has to take a loss, they will look at the next product and say, I'm unlikely to pay the same price for that product because it didn't sell at that price. They will look at it through a different lens. Now, singles right now are doing very well, we just said. Now, that's not the discussion we're talking about today, but it shows the evolving market we're dealing with, where singles will take off, and that means Wizards of the Coast will pivot and probably bring in a lot more secret layers in smaller batches where they can capitalize on the singles market. And we'll see the continuous decline of the sealed products. We know that Wizards of the Coast has trimmed a lot of product lines in the last 12 to 24 months. Things like Brawl decks, a whole bunch of Jumpstart things, all they're faded to the wayside. They're gone. We also haven't seen a new Master Series product so far announced for 2024. They have trimmed this stuff off for now to reevaluate how they can package these things and get them out to consumers. There's nothing wrong with that. They're trying to adapt with the market. But the other interesting thing is, all these products, although the prices are softening on sealed, in some cases like melted butter, it just has totally crashed down, very easy to get your hands on if you desire it. But that means the consumers who are actually interested, the organic consumer who wants to get their hands on these products, has never had it easier. They've never had an easier time buying some of these sealed products because they haven't been this cheap since before 2020. It's 4 years ago. That's a lot of growth that has been lost in this market space, making some of these products to people who remember the highs, the super high prices, and now have the chance, the opportunity to buy it at a much lower price, which looks very appealing to them. They're wondering how much lower it'll go, of course, but these sales are happening. sealed product is still selling. It's just not selling the way it used to because speculators have been chased out because of the losses they had to take. Let me share with you guys a couple things. Take a look at this first one. This is taken from 401 Games, and I'm looking here. It's a local LGS here, but if you look there, you can see Streets of New Capenna. These are still on sale from Boxing Day. That's a couple of weeks ago, right? Draft Booster Box, $99. I displayed this a few weeks ago. It's still on sale now. New Capenna Collector Booster, $159 a box. Well, if these things are still for sale, if they're still available, and they haven't been sold out, then that's not the bottom price. It may have caught a couple of people. They had an interest, maybe a few boxes sold here or there, sure. But not enough for that company, that store, to change what they're doing. They're going to leave it up a little bit longer, hopefully move a few more units, because again, the evolving market has shifted and people are no longer putting their money into that product at that price. It has to be cheaper. It has to be lower. And of course, that means a company or a store, when they go to rebuy, are going to look again at the price tag and say, I don't think it's going to sell for that because we have a history of data in our store, locally, globally, internationally, where we can see what these were selling for. Now, how about we take a look at the next one? This is, of course, an actual overview of what the box has been priced at. So I just showed you $100 Canadian, by the way. 401 Games is a Canadian store. It says here the low is 63. It says the high is 263. I have no idea what they're talking about. And the average is 100. So yes, the box has lost. And no, it's not selling a lot of units. But there is still some sales. If you can look around, you're still going to find some sales here or there for this particular product. Now, I want to share the next one here. This is Dominaria. Now, back in 2018, this thing sold out. It ended its product line run early, and there was a whole thing where this box was up to like $300. Now we are in 2024, a 6-year-old box, and it's only getting $150. Okay, now, of course, people will say, well, there's going to be a price adjustment. The market's going to adjust these prices upward once these cheaper boxes are gone. But how many cheaper boxes are out there? How many times do we see them retriculating into the market and being bought up again? They are popping up again. People did hoard some of these boxes, maybe not to the degree we used to see, but there's still a lot of people sitting on Dominaria, and it's a great set. I loved it. It's the first time we saw Saga cards, but it's going for half of what it went for. Half of where it used to be, okay? Even boxes like Zendikar. Remember Battle for Zendikar, Expeditions? These things were up above 300 in 2021. Then they've been drifting down slowly but surely all the way into what we see now in 2024. It's interesting to see how far a market can shift and how much the organic demand for something is over something that's not. Popping back to Dominaria, you can see, look at the shifting of the prices. Where this thing was way above the $200 mark, all the way almost to $300. And it's just been falling down, like we just saw with Battle for Zendikar. Now, if we shift this over to something like a collector box, let's take a look at the Throne of Eldraine, the first collector box ever. These are readily available still, even locally. I can find them for like $400, $450 Canadian. And you can see here that these things were above 400 US. These are US price I'm showing here. $400 US, and they're drifting downward now. They're just slowly drifting down. And that's because the market is not meeting where the prices are, okay? We are not where we need to be to have players buy these en masse. And that's where things get kind of crazy. Because they are selling. At that price, you might see one sell. You might see another sell. So people say, oh, it's starting to firm up. We have some sales happening in this area. But the actual data and information do not show that. They just show a few people who consider that a fairly good deal from what they've seen before and deciding to speculate or buy that product for whatever reason in that price point area. But the price is still falling. Now, eventually, this information and data goes back to the economic team, goes back to the actuarials at Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro, and they get to hash this out to see what the market's doing. They will data scrape no differently than I do, and they will take a look to see what's going on in the market, what's moving, and in what quantities. This will help them set prices for products. Yes, they want to always raise the price, but they will recognize at times that they are unable to raise the price in this way. which means, which means that sealed product can't go any higher. They need to find another branch of a tree to branch off into to make up lost revenue. In this case, I think they'll pivot to secret layers. I think they'll do something there like we've been talking about, where they will shift off to that and try to recapitalize on some of the individual cards they sell in smaller batches, tighter print runs to make them seem more exclusive. That's where I think they'll go. I think they're preparing us for it, and it's no different than us understanding when we see a price shift at our local store. Oh, the price didn't change, but what they gave us inside the box did. It got smaller, shrinkflation, right? Now, I want to share something else with you here. Let's pop up to this one, okay? These are some older boxes. Now, here I want to share with you guys what's happening here. We've got Mirage. Now, you can see here, these are boxes for sale on something like eBay, okay? And you can see, packs for 80-something bucks, box for 3,000, box for 3,000. Interesting, right? Interesting. We got these boxes selling, but nobody's buying them, okay? This is not the actual profit point that people are willing to take a risk on these boxes. If we take a look at something like antiquities, I have always wanted to get my hands on more antiquities packs. I remember them being $1,500 Canadian all the way to $2,200 Canadian, and there are some still at that price point now. Where you see it here, it says buy on TCG Player for $7.52, buy on Card Kingdom for $11.99. And I could show you guys, I could pop over and show you images on eBay for people selling them for $700 and change. The price is falling, and those packs are still not selling. So as those speculators are trying to find where the market space will buy these secondary products at, there are people like me, the consumer, who are waiting for a certain price point, whatever that price point may be for each individual person to decide. And until you see a massive buyout of boxes. So if we saw Streets of New Capenna go on for $40 a box, and you saw thousands of boxes move, somebody deemed that a good deal. A lot of people would at $40 a box, because the contents of the box, with 3 or 4 Triumphs maybe, is going to make it more worthwhile, okay? But we have not gotten to that point yet. We're at the pecking stage where there are losers, which are going to be the distributors, wizards in the long run, a whole bunch of stores, okay, and the speculators. The consumers, those people spending money in this market space, are looking for the best deals possible, and they're the ones who are going to come out ahead, because you may have had a speculator who bought Battle for Zendikar boxes at $300 and now needs money for whatever reason. They need new winter tires for their car, so they sell off Battle for Zendikar boxes now for $120. Used to be $300, but now the market says they're only worth $120. So that softening of the market, although it's scary and somebody is losing, somebody else is getting a bargain deal. Some other consumer out there is taking advantage of those losses from somebody who cannot hang in there, and they're the ones who are going to come out ahead. And that's where this market space is at. It's not that cards are not selling, they're selling phenomenally well. It's not that sealed products not selling, it's selling at a very slow rate. Almost like a drip. Like an eye drop dripper, just one at a time, slowly moving. But I think right now, what we're seeing in the market space, in my opinion, is more organic desire rather than speculators fueling what's going on, which means there will be a lot of adjustments probably happening in 2024 with Wizards of the Coast, with your local LGS, and speculators who might be still out there in the market. There will be a shifting, a changing of the guard in how things are done. And that is something you as the player, the consumer, the speculator, the buyer, the LGS, Hasbro person, whoever it is, people need to be aware of this, because it's universal. It happens in a lot of different spaces other than Magic the Gathering. But it definitely can be seen very clearly when we're looking inside this space. So I hope you guys found this information informative. Pardon me with my voice today. The party kind of drained me out. Thanks again for hanging out with me today on the channel. If you enjoyed everything, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments in the comments section about how you feel with the market space. Like, would you buy a box of, I don't know, we'll say Streets of New Capenna for $40 Canadian, which means $35 US? Would you buy a draft box? Would you buy a set booster box for, say, $70 Canadian or $55 US? Would you buy a collector box of Streets of New Capenna for $80 Canadian? Or $70 US. I'm just curious. Let me know, guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Remember, stay informed. Magic is a crazy space to play in, and it's a great game, but this kind of stuff does happen. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Have a great day. A big shout out and thank you to the wonderful patrons I have supporting this channel each and every day, to my YouTube membership members, everyone out there who supports this channel, thanks again for being there. I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome day today. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. Thanks again for hanging out with me, guys. We got the coffee cup here. We still have some coffee in there, which is great. We've got the thank you everyone for an amazing party. Thanks for stopping by the live stream. Everyone out there, I really appreciate it. Sorry, the voice is a little bit hoarse today. I'm drinking a lot of water and coffee to get through all this. I apologize for that. Anyway, it's interesting because when you see what's going on in the market space, we know cards are selling. We know singles are doing very well. Like crazy. Like the numbers I've seen in the top 10s are crazy. We know players are taking advantage of buying reserve list cards. We know that's going on. People are putting their money there. And we know that, yes, sealed product is still selling. It's just selling really slow and usually at massively adjusted prices. Players want a deal. They don't want a little bit of a deal. They want a real deal. They want a Big Mac deal from like 1991. I want a Big Mac meal, medium fry, whatever, for $4 Canadian, like $3.19 US. That's the kind of deals players are looking for them to buy these products. Sealed. And that's where we're going to see adjustments from the company. They know they can't keep shifting the price up. I think they're coming to that conclusion the same as I am, because I'm getting a lot of these like half conversations from the bigger stores telling me that they are shifting their stuff and they're buying less because it's too much backing up on their shelves. And although it's not being super detrimental to the company at this point, it is enough that they're noticing it. And that's something to talk about. Right? They are noticing what's happening the same as you guys are. And a lot of the smaller LGSs, I already know you guys cut your production runs because you guys told me. Cut your orders as much as you could without getting your distributor mad at you. A lot of you guys are like held under the thumb by those guys, and I don't think that's fair, but I know that's how the game is played, unfortunately. So it'll be curious to see how things play out in the next little while. And especially in 2024, I think it's going to give Wizards the sounding bell as they try these things with Secret Lair, and as we see the adjustment of the tightening of run. What am I talking about, guys? That's why it's a ramble jamble, see? Unedited. A tightening of their print runs, right? Which I don't think will actually affect sealed boxes that much. Because I think players have totally shifted away from buying and cracking tons of boxes because they're not $100 anymore. They're not 110 or 120. The new play boosters are going up, up, up. So I think that's going to be a real eye-opener for Wizards. And I think they kind of know what's coming, which is why they're shifting to this. And I think we're going to see a lot less reprints for the next little while. Curious, right? Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. I'm going to drink some coffee and go rest the throat. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video, man. I hope you're having an awesome day. Thanks to everyone who donated at the party, celebrated the party, hung out with me at the party. You guys are awesome. And don't forget to take that polling question about the next party. I want to know what people think. All right? See you soon.